What's going on, everybody? It is Wednesday, February the 17th, and that means this is my news radar. So before I jump in, I want to take just a moment and remind you guys that this channel is community supported. Please take a moment and consider becoming a member by clicking that join button down below, or even becoming a patron on Patreon. Your support, even a small amount, does help tremendously. Thanks. So I just made a video talking about what I was expecting out of Surface Duo 2/Surface Zeta. And one of the features that I didn't really mention, that a lot of you guys have mentioned in the comments, which thank you for commenting so vigorously as you guys have. I love to see that, and I will try to get to most of these comments as I have time. Anyways, one of the features that I didn't mention is a high refresh rate. Now, this is a feature that I had on some prior phones that I've owned, and I really do like. Anytime I pick up Jesse's Pixel 5 and I scroll around on it, it immediately just feels so much smoother and so much faster. But it's not something that makes it or breaks the phone for me. It's nice, but it's not an end-all be-all, so to speak. It definitely makes the phone feel faster, though. Why am I talking about high refresh rate? Well, the iPhone has been a phone that has really stuck to their guns on having a standard 60 Hz refresh rate. Even though on the iPad line, they have released models with a 120 Hz refresh rate, which everyone really liked, there's not been a high refresh rate iPhone to date. That being said, now iPhone 13 may buck that trend and not just have a high refresh rate, but have the highest refresh rate of any phone on the market. This article from TechRadar purports to tell you that the iPhone 13 might be going to a 240 Hertz panel. Now, they're basing this off of a patent that was filed by Apple that has a phone display with multiple refresh modes, offering a native refresh rate and the ability to operate at potentially several times that rate. They give this example here. The native rate might be 60 Hertz, but the phone will be able to operate at 120 Hertz, 180, or even 240, so intervals of that 60 Hertz refresh rate. Could even be able to go higher, but 240 is the highest example that they give. As mentioned in this article, we really haven't seen anything near 240 Hertz on a phone. The Lenovo Legion phone has a 144 Hertz refresh rate, but no one's really doing 240. So if Apple goes from 60 to 240, that would be pretty darn wild. Now, it's something that you should have some concerns with. I mean, obviously, pushing that refresh rate to 240 Hertz is going to absolutely trash your battery life unless they have some magic software in there to make that somehow not do that. I don't know what on earth it would possibly do to accomplish that task. It would definitely look really good. You also have to question, though, how much better does 144 look? You know, when you're comparing that to 240, does 240 look appreciably better? I think for a lot of people, 60 to 90, that's a big difference. 90 to 120, not as much of a difference. 120 to 144, you're getting more and more granular. And then 144 to 240, can the human eye even perceive differences in refresh rate at that point? I'm a little bit skeptical of that as well. They are going to, look, if they do this, it's going to be a variable refresh rate. So it's not going to be just 240 banging on all the time. When an app that's running doesn't even support more than 60 FPS, there's zero reason to run your panel at 144 or 240 if the app is only running at 60 FPS. You're just wasting energy, because essentially if the app is running at 60 FPS and let's say you're running your panel at 120 Hertz, you're just showing them two frames, two refreshes of the same frame. You're not getting any new information, so the smoothness isn't really going to be appreciably different at that point. So how important is high refresh rate to you guys? Is this something that you're interested in seeing? I am curious to see how Apple does it, because Apple tends to do these things late but well. I am curious to see what they're going to do. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. So sticking with a device that already has a 120 Hertz refresh rate, we have news that the Z Fold 3, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 3, will be shipping with an under-display camera. If you ever see the acronym UDC, that's what that does mean. Or even you might see UPC, under panel camera. I've seen it posted both ways. This technology is something that is pretty new. We've seen it in a ZTE phone, and basically the way they've done it is the camera is just aiming straight through the display, and that might be what Samsung is working on here with the Z Fold 3. Currently, the Z Fold 2 has that hole punch kind of off to the side, kind of looks a little bit weird, but it's the best option that you've got at the moment until maybe now. Primarily, this idea is coming from Ice Universe, who is a pretty reliable leaker on Twitter, who simply says Galaxy Z Fold 3 very likely to adopt UPC, which does stand for under panel camera. Beyond that, we do think Z Fold 3 will remain in that $2,000 range. It may have stylus support, which we've talked about, and it will have that 120 hertz display. It is kind of crazy to me how rapidly the Z Fold line is improving in specs and features. It seems to be going so quickly. When you look at the original Z Fold with that crummy little tiny little front screen and the big cutout to the Z Fold 2, which puts that screen in a much better place on the front and switches to a hole punch. And now if they go to stylus support and an under panel camera, man, they're really pushing the envelope rapidly with the Z Fold line. So as an owner and lover and user of Surface headphones, I was really intrigued by this next news story. So Xbox now officially has a set of wireless headphones, and some of the features and the appearance even might look a little familiar to you if you're like me. This is what they look like. Xbox wireless headset. They're going to be $99, and they will deliver low latency, lossless audio with exceptional sound quality. And if you look at the features here, so multi-device connectivity. So the idea is here you can have this thing paired to your phone, maybe it's a Surface Duo, and to your Xbox console. This is done via Bluetooth, and Surface headphones have a similar multi-device feature. So you're playing on your Xbox and you get a phone call on your phone. Well, you don't have to take off your headphones and do anything. You just answer the phone call right there on your headset. Spatial sound, so that's pretty standard stuff. Dolby Atmos, DTS, all these good things. Now they do have a beamforming mic coming off of a boom there, so that is an upgrade from the Surface headphones. But when you're gaming, you need a really good, crisp, clear headset, especially if you're streaming. You really do need that. Here's a cool feature. There is a feature that when you're not talking, auto mute does mute your microphone. So if you're playing on a PC, maybe your clickety-clacky of your keyboard doesn't get picked up as much, background noises, things like that. Fast charging is there. But here's a cool thing to me, a rotating ear cup dial to change the volume and the chat game balance. That is straight from the Surface headphones, and I'm really intrigued by that. And of course, they've got their nice little teaser video here, which shows these headphones, the dial rotating and so forth. They look like a matte black and green accented set of Surface headphones with a boom arm sticking out there for audio. This is something that I'm pretty intrigued by, and I'd love to know how they are going to sound. I'm going to try to get my hands on them as soon as I can to do a proper review of them when the time does come. They are up for pre-order currently, and you can do that on Microsoft's website, which you can see here. The release date is March the 16th. Let me know if you guys are going to pick up a set of these headphones. And one last thing that isn't a news story before I go, just a cool thing that I stumbled back upon. This is a news article from 2018, which shows something called Samsung Project V, which is a dual screen phone. Now they're doing this in a different way, similar to how you had the Huawei folding phones and the Z Fold folding phones. The Z Folds folds the screen inward. The Huawei device folded them outwards. Well, this is a similar thing with the Duo. This Samsung device was going to fold the display outward. It doesn't look like this device made it very far at all, but we do have some photos that were leaked in 2018. So I just wanted to kind of point this out if you guys missed this. This display would actually fold all the way back around. You can see how it's chamfered there to match there. It would be a rather thick device, but again, this was 3 years ago actually now. And overall, just a pretty cool looking device. Just interesting to know that Samsung was working on this concept as well, even that long ago. Pictured here, I believe, is the ZTE Axon M, I think was the model there. So that was a different take on this idea. But there you go. So sort of a things that could have happened kind of thing to end the show. So thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next episode of News Radar. And until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.